the deeper question is who taught us and what was their motivation.
That's the key.
Right. Who taught us what? So
Yes,
let's
sir.
bring in, man, my beautiful sister, Dina McReynolds Everage. Sister Dina, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening.
evening.
All right, y'all.
Good evening.
Now you know we keeping her up late, right? And she had to wait, so we apologize. But this is
I actually had to set an alarm to wake up to join you guys.
well. You're gonna wake up some
for you,
people
Richard.
tonight. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna do this real quick because I gotta get my sister in it. This sister, if you don't know her, is one of Chicago's finest people. I mean, this sister, look, she loves black people, got a beautiful family, very talented children, talented brother, love her mom, and she's been an educator, and I guess now she's an entrepreneur. But this is one of the best people in this city. And I'm not just saying that. I'm saying from what I know. Because when you got somebody that's a principal in a school in Inglewood, and they take their own children and put them in that school in Inglewood, because they want all children to get what their children got. When someone is creative and she brings in black men and does everything she can, she hires black male staff to try to help develop black boys and serve them. I can't even, I'm going to have to stop because I'll be here 40 minutes just talking about her. But Sister Dina, is it true that you are now a citizen of the great West African nation of Ghana? Is that true?
That is true. I was just sworn in. I was 522 out of 524 people that were just sworn in, and I'm officially a Ghanaian citizen.
Wow.
Now, when were you sworn in, and what did it feel like?
So we were sworn in Accra, in Ghana, and one of the national convention centers that they have there, and it was amazing. The group of people that I was sworn in with, but just hearing from our leadership and being welcomed into the country, welcomed back home, and it's still really surreal. I feel check my phone daily. I look at pictures, but the moment itself was definitely one of the most exciting moments of my adult life. Just the energy that flooded the room, the hope and opportunity that just was in the space for diasporans from the United States and just even around the globe. It was good, and just to hear that the president just really believed in this movement. He's finishing his second term, and he was actually the president who began the movement of bringing diasporans back home in celebration of, the 400 years. So just to be his last class under him, the last people that he actually welcomed in, that also added energy to the moment.
Very good. Now, Dina, I don't want to ask you too many questions. I really just want you to tell your story. So how did this thing begin, and just tell us how it went for you?
Okay, so I actually took my first trip home this year in March, and I went with one of my best friends, two of my best friends, her daughter, for her, it was a delayed 50th birthday celebration. So we all turned 50, in the height of kind of the pandemic. So We went with like a travel group and just had a wonderful experience. I mean, even when I came back from that, it was almost impossible to like frame into words what being back on the soil meant. Just for the first time in my life, feeling like a first-class citizen at every waking moment of my existence while I was there. It was just really hard to like even frame. But while I was there, I got an opportunity to meet Princess Ase Okanse from the Naba'a community. And she really just adopted me. And she's someone my mom knew. Her daughter was like a huge fan of my brother's. And it was kind of like a full circle moment. And when my mom found out that I was going in March, she, made the connection. And the princess herself was actually in the state dealing with like some medical issues, but like the way she facilitated my visit while I was there just connected me, and it was such a natural, like familial connection. While I was there, I was just cared for in just like a rich and meaningful way, and we kept in touch. And so when she knew that this president was going out and that he was offering this last class, she asked me if I would be interested in like pursuing dual citizenship. And she was like, I don't just want to do it for you. I want to make sure that your mom and your brother are able to like partake in the process too. Like, I'm going to push this. She's like, fill out this application, send in this videotape, send a copy of your passport, send a copy of your birth certificate, and really having somebody on the ground just continue to advocate for my return home, like on another level. She just kind of supported the process, and just, as we needed documentation, as we needed to submit things, she just made sure we stayed online. She was like, I don't know, like, the process is winding up, like, I don't know, but I'm gonna, do whatever I can to like help facilitate this happening for you all. And so I guess they told her, well, we'll let one in. So, my brother is a little famous-ish. And so they were going to let him get the citizenship. And she's like, no, I need my daughter. And I need my sister. I need three. And so it kind of went silent. And on election day, that was November 5th, she called and she said, they accepted you all's application. She was like, you have to be here Friday for biometrics and for your in-person interview and blah, 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 blah. And so immediately I was like, I can't afford to make that turnaround this quickly. And, my brother's in the middle of like going on this tour, or at the beginning of going on this tour. And he's like, it's so busy for me. And then my mom was just kind of like, and my mom who's 75, who, is just one of the most amazing women on the planet. You definitely need to have her on the show so you can understand us. She was like, I'm going to do whatever you all could do, but I really want to go. She's like, I've wanted to go to Africa since I was 15. And so I'm like, oh, God, what am I doing? So I go to sleep, and then I wake up, and I realize or find out that we have this person that I'm just still not surprised in office, but elected, and that the world as we know it is like in progression for something that I don't even know if any of us could actually foresee or speak on. And so we woke up to that, and I was like, all right, God, you open this door, this moment, this is happening. We going to Ghana. So that day, I figured out buying me and mommy tickets to go. Told my brother, this is what we're going to do. There's a flight, because he lives in the DMV area. There's a flight that connects there. You get your ticket, and you get on, and we're going. And so that was Wednesday. Then we bought the tickets for Thursday. And Thursday, like, packing, getting home ready, and, like, you did announce that I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm very much a babypreneur in the space. And so I'm like, if I don't work, I don't make money. This is not a good time. I just celebrated my birthday, but I had to lean into the fact that when opportunity comes, when doors open, that you just have to walk through and you have to take advantage. So me, my mom, and my brother were on a plane to Africa Thursday evening, and we arrived Friday morning. And from the time that we got off the plane, they came and got us. Like before we went down the runway, it was in motion around all the things that we had to do with the Ministry of Interior, about getting our biometrics done and getting everything done. And then it was still like a process, like, is this going to actually like go forward? You know, we're on the soil. And my African mom was like, oh, y'all, you're getting a citizenship. And so, then we got the emails and we got the announcements and the instructions on where to be on the 19th of November. So we actually were there until the 19th of November. And then there was a swearing in. We had an opportunity. My first visit, I went to Cape Coast and the Osu castles, got to visit like the slave dungeons, the castles, and have that. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't make it to Nina. We didn't go to that one. But just to feel the energy of my ancestors was such a powerful time. So this time I got to go with my mom, my brother, and then my African mom and sister. And the guy that we had this time, he just like left us in the room in a circle and just gave us a moment to kind of express what the moment felt like. And it turned into tears and crying, and then just my mom just being able to like, it was just one of the richest things, but then just to know, just to add my tears to where tears have been sown, to just feel the emotion, the sweat, the darkness, the DNA of my people who were told they would never ever walk on that soil again, and to be able to be there with my immediate family, and it just was everything. And so just our whole time there, that was like day 2 of being on the ground that we went there. So just the whole time there, this time with my, my family, only people missing with my kids, and we up next. It was just like changed. It's just the beginning of something that I just don't even know if I fully understand. But I know that I got my passport, my Ghanaian passport, and I have no desire, used to vacation in, Cancun, Mexico, Paris of Mexico, parts of the Caribbean, and I only want to, live and vacation and finish the balance of my days in a homeland that, is still very rich with opportunity, but just still very rich with royalty and greatness. And, even as I explain to my friends and talk about, going back, so I turned 55 this year, so I want to have my birthday in October there. And they're asking about lions and tigers and bears and what do you see? And I'm like, wait a minute, it's like it's like royalty, it's like richness, it's like it's a little dose of the best parts of America, and then it's everything else that you never knew that you needed. And so I'm excited about just the opportunity. And so people now are clamoring, calling me, inboxing me, because I was really quiet about the motion and the movement. And it's funny because people think, because I do post a lot of things on the internet, but there's so much in my life that never gets posted. And so it wasn't until the height of this moment that I started sharing. And people were like, wait a minute, you didn't tell us you were doing this? You didn't, how do I help me? And I'm like, grace, favor, trust, belief in God, and then just a commitment to what is in you. And it's so crazy. As long as I've been preaching that message to like young people that I've had the privilege of serving. Like it's in you, it's in you. Something is in you, something greater, and then to like have God still at 54 years old, being allowing you to see the more. To feel what is in you and you not even knowing. So, like, the connection to the land, like, I don't know what the opportunity holds, but I know that there is opportunity, and there's where I want to be. Like, I'm talking, guys, because Richard knows that I can talk. Brother Richard knows that I can talk. But,
go ahead.
But, you know, I was diagnosed in 2021 with rheumatoid arthritis. Both busy home. I never felt an inkling of anything in my joints. You know, like my health, like I wasn't intentionally like trying, like I lost weight because I was eating fresh, whole, unprocessed, good food. Like my skin just glowed. Like I was just like the motherland pictures, like a bronze goddess, because like the way my son was being kissed by, my skin was being kissed by the sun. Like I'm like, why do, and then I come back here and I'm like, why? But it just, now this moment in time allows me just to also like get into preparation mode. Like, what is the messaging? What was the purpose of God allowing this to happen on the onset of something unpredictable, something different? How am I going to be used as a teacher, as an educator, as a friend, as a sister, to provide exposure? When I was there the first time, the African Games was going on, and there was a guy there. His name was Henry Chinyeri. I can't remember how to exactly say his name, but his tech company was facilitating like all the credentialing and all the everything for the African Games. And so I was able to be connected with him, and like I ended up booking my ticket to leave like a day after the group, which I don't even know how that happened. But he took me like backstage to the games, and they call him the African Bill Gates. And so I just asked him, you know, when he's like, how's America? I was like, well, you know, it's America. It's great, you know. And he did a lot of his schooling here and, you know, things like that. And he's like, I'll never go back. And I'm like, what? He's like, I win awards there. People want me to speak and do all kinds of things. He's like, I don't want to experience feeling like a second-class citizen for even 15 minutes of my life.
Wow.
He was like, so, and that, he was the one who, like, when I tried to, like, explain to people when I first came back the first time, like, what it was, that's exactly it. It's like a land where you see us, like, from full-blown flight crews to just the people who serve you in restaurants. And I was showing Mommy, I was like, Mom, it's just like we're upright people. If you look at, like, the women with the baskets, I tried to learn how to do that so much, but like my posture is not even like my back, my neck, you know, they're out selling wares and, you know, what seems to be like in poverty, but they have all the richness of the world, like just holding their shoulders back, strengthening their neck and allowing them. But then you watch people, whether they're serving you, whether they're from royal families, whatever it is, have that same. They wear their uniforms, they're pressed, they're clean, they smile, aunties, mommies, like older people are just like revered and cared for. Like it's just, and I was like, Mom, look at the service. Like look how they move. She's like they walk so straight. Because when we went to that one slave dungeon, it was the male dungeon where they put the prisoners, they like the ones who were acting up. Like this was like the small tight one, and how he showed us how they lowered the doors. Like this is just such a sick and corrupt people forever.
Yeah.
Like they lowered the walkways and the doors because so when we had to go in there like bend down, and then when we get in there and I was first told the story, like they did that to break our spirit. But we in America, so many of us, our posture is off as a people because we have been broken.
Yeah.
And then to have a country that is literally like just a stone's throw away, where we are reminded that we walk upright, that we are the original, that we are the royal people, that we have God's hand and we have His heart. Like, I want that. Like, I want that. I want that. Why I landed here, it was snowing, it was cold. All of a sudden, I felt my body again. Like, I'm there, like, I don't feel my body. I'm just, like, moving and there. And I get here, it's like, click, 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 click. It's just, why do I live here? But, you know, it's purpose to everything. You know, for this next phase of the journey, I'm just trusting and believing God. My mom was at my house on Thanksgiving, and all she could talk about was, I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going to spend January and February there. I have my passport. I'm going back. I'm like, and Mommy's good. Because they take care of the elder people. Like, she didn't have to lift the bag. She got so spoiled. If you know my mom, she works for one of the she's one of, like, these most brilliant women, smart together. And it was just like, I can't figure it. We're filling out the passport applications online. And it is Africa. So it was like glitches and the technology wasn't moving with the fingers. And, you know, and so somebody was there helping her. Like, Mom, you know, I'm like, is this really my mother? Sitting over here asking for help. This woman is the help to so many. And I was like, Mommy, you go right on back. Go back, be cared for, be loved on, and we're coming. And so, yeah, and I'm looking to, I don't have it, but, you know, Richard, I like to plan trips and do things. I just want people to have this royal return because that's what it felt like for me. And I'm connected to real royalty there. And just, and this is the other thing, okay. And whenever y'all got a question, I'll stop. But this is the other thing. When we first went, what? Yes, sir? You want to talk?
No, go ahead, Dina. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Because I'm taking over this hour. This is my hour. I got 22 minutes left.
All right, go ahead now.
So my first visit in March, I got to go to Aquapong, which is like in the mountains. And I got to go with the group. One of the ladies who did the trip is part of a royal family out of Aquapong. And we got to go to the king hosts these like regular like meetings like every 5 or 6 weeks where he brings all the chiefs together. But it was like visitors from the USA, like, you know, different schools that he's partners with. It's just this time, and it's like this huge celebration. And that king is like 38 years old. Found out that they had to like go capture him in New York and bring him home to be king because he was living his best USA life. But it was just interesting seeing the whole like royal structure and the king and how he was cared for, from his linguist to his spanners, to like the royal dancers and the drummers and the music and like the people who come in and like, you know, act out the evil spirits and make the different things happen before the king is able to come into the room, and how he's set up on the front. Like, I felt like, I mean, like it was coming to Africa, you know, like we need to flip it because that royal experience was like my mouth was dropped. And so when I first became a teacher in 1992, I became a teacher in School District 160, which is out in the south suburbs. And at that time, it was turning demographic-wise as far as the students, but the teachers and the superintendents, I was like one of 2 black teachers in the district. So in February, I started doing this Great Kings and Queens of Africa. And so, like, I'd have my very mixed population class represent, you know, Queen Nzinga, Queen Nefertiti, like I have them dressed up, but I had assembled this whole like royal assembly for them where I had fanners, I had like the guards, I had pardon me? Yeah.
No, we listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had like the guard, like I had the whole royal setup, and it literally for 3 years became like a very popular celebration, and it was so like I had never. All I seen was what I seen on movies or researched in books for my students, but I saw that in action in March. I saw all the royalty, the queen mothers sitting in their spaces. I saw the kings and the kingsmen and all the drapes and kentes and rich African cloths. And just like I saw what 1992, what I was trying to create when I had these white kids, in crowns and muumuus and all these things, and I had no idea. But I feel like we as a people, we need to see that. Brother Richard, when I think about the kids that I served in Inglewood, they have no idea. Because for us in America, our beginning starts with slavery. Like, we ain't slaves.
Yeah.
We ain't slaves. We had a long life of organized culture, positioning that existed in such an amazing way long before we was ever snatched and brought here. Like, so people need to experience that. So, like, I really want my friends, like, trying to get even some of my close friends. I never got to go to Africa. Who said that? But you stay in Puerto Rico and what? But you don't know because you still thinking, like a giraffe gonna run past, right?
Right.
We got skyscrapers. We got, but we still got culture. And it, like, to be in the city of Accra and to see these westernized people and things happening, but just dropped in the middle of it, you see this royal, people still walking in royal garb and just drapes. And, like, you still see this. And you are reminded of who you are. And you watch them again. Walk up right, walk up straight, walk up proud. And the last thing I'm going to say, I think, is, like, even driving to the different places. I was with a group in March of 25 people. So even driving there, I would see, like, what looked to be poverty. And the person who was our tour guide, he was like, well, it might look different. He was like, but all of these people, these homes you're looking at that appear to be shacks and small dwellings, these people own their land. Like, where in the U.S. of A. are, like, mass people who appear to be in poverty owning their land. So I was like, wow. So it has been an amazing journey. It began as something that was like, okay, let's go, let's celebrate this birthday, let's see. And now it's ending, or this year is winding up as something that seems like infinite possibilities in a way that I really want to conclude my days on. It's linking Africans to Americas in order to get what they need to come back home, or if it's linking my black brothers and sisters here so that they can experience and see. Not that they all need to come, because when all of us start coming, they need too much. No, I'm just kidding. But just, I mean, they can come, but stay. But, come and just see so that you can understand, because we are told and we know that we cannot progress without fully understanding where we come from.
That's right. That's right. Dina, I wanted to, first of all, let me kind of reset. So, brothers and sisters, you have been listening to our sister Dina McReynolds Everage. And by the way, who is your brother you just mentioned? Who is he?
Oh my gosh. One His name is Jonathan McReynolds. He is a gospel Grammy award-winning gospel artist.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, that's her brother. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now
my baby brother.
Her baby brother. She has been sharing with us her experience going to Ghana twice recently, and the second time going and receiving her dual citizenship, becoming a Ghanaian citizen. So this was a program that was initiated by the government of Ghana in 2019, called the Year of Return, to encourage the children of Africa, black people, to return to this great West African country. So the Year of Return was initially a year-long commemoration of the 400th anniversary of the enslaved Africans being brought into Virginia, 1619, okay? So the goal, some of the goals of the programs were to promote Ghana as a tourist destination, an investment opportunity, and I think most important, encouraging Africans and blacks in the diaspora to come back and resettle in Ghana. You know, Dina, I've been blessed to go to Ghana twice. First, 1994 with Brother James and Nation of Islam's International Saviors Day. Then when Mr. Obama went, I think in 2018, I went back again. One of the things that struck me, was what you said about not feeling like a second-class citizen. The first time I went to Ghana, and I felt welcome both times. I felt more at home in Ghana in one day than I felt my whole life in America. And I spent a lot of time on the beach talking to brothers and sisters there. So we were at the Naba'a Hotel in Accra, which is the capital city, beautiful. The other thing, brothers and sisters, Ghana has a great Pan-Africanist tradition. Great tradition. With its first president, Kwame Nkrumah, educated at Lincoln University. He came back. They got a Black Star Square, which was named in honor of Marcus Garvey and his Black Star steamship line and his vision of bringing us back to Africa. W.E.B. Du Bois, who was not in agreement with Garvey on some of those points. Garvey never made it to Africa. But Du Bois later in life lived and died in Africa after he was wholly rejected in America, right? But it was something, Dina, because I just felt like I was home, so I spent a lot of time talking to brothers and sisters on the beach, and the first experience, you know, look, brothers and sisters, we sometimes have to understand cultural realities. So this is 1994, so the brothers on the beach, they're trying to sell me stuff, because if they don't sell, their families don't eat, right? So they were kind of active, maybe a little aggressive. But ain't nobody more aggressive than Americans, especially the black ones anyway. So what I said to them was, okay, first we're going to do a little business, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk, because I'm not a tourist. I'm a brother who has come home. And when I claimed my kinship with them, everything changed. Everything changed. And it was really beautiful. But you talked about not feeling like a second-class citizen in Ghana. Can you talk a little bit about what that meant? You talked about seeing black folk and working in the hotels, working in the city, acting as police officers, or just walking down the street. The pride that they felt, the pride that you saw, the not despair. Even those that may have been poor, they still own their own land. So can you tell me a little bit about what it felt for you to be a first-class citizen?
Well, I mean, it's hard to like describe when we have spent the majority of our lives not being that. But it just felt like I belonged. Like I didn't feel like I was ever, so many terms now that I don't know, like that I hear like the younger people say, the whole imposter syndrome, which I don't fully know the definition of, but I hear them saying that. But I could just say, it was never a place that I entered that I did not feel like it wasn't supposed to be there. And although there was a language barrier, sometimes for me, not them, because most speak English, there was some differences in cultures, and I didn't always know, like, exactly, what I should do, who I should, being able to meet different kings, like, well, you don't grab this hand, or you don't touch, or you don't stand, or you don't cry, so I'm learning things like that, but it never allowed me to feel like you're not supposed to be there. And that's what it felt like as I moved throughout the country. Like it was never a moment that I felt like uncomfortable. Am I scared? And who I was, because I always saw reflections of me. And I saw the reflections of some of the best parts of me. I met really talented, and always, and we'll have to do a picture share at Eat to Live. I have to come show some of my pictures from the first trip and then the second. But the kids, like because I'm always clued in on the babies, like just having conversations with some brilliance. I was just always so excited. And what I did not encounter a lot of, now there are spaces like where we drove past or drove through that you did see some level of like pandering or begging. I didn't see that a lot. You know what I mean? Like, and people were so grateful for, like, because, America, we tip on a percentage. I'm always tipping. They're running to us with, like, change. Like, no, that's your tip. Like, and it's like, 5, 6, like, what would be found on here? But it was great. And thank you. Like, I always felt a sense of gratitude. I felt a sense of belonging and just, like, kinship. Like, from the fact that I was auntie everybody's auntie. I was the auntie or the mommy. So on my first visit, I ended up staying we stayed at Labadi Beach as well, which is Ghanaian owned, which was a wonderful place to stay. So I went back because I connected with like different people. So when we were there this time, we had brunch there on Sunday. And so, like, I walked out to one of the young men who would, like, serve me at, like, the pool bar, off the beach. And he saw me. And he just, like, ran up the stairs to me. Auntie, you're back. And then it was, like, as I was showing my mom and my African mom, they were, like, people were, like, looking at me. And then they'd be like, are you back? And then but it was just that sense of belonging and just to come and just to be a part. And I mean, it's hard. I don't know if I'm giving you a good explanation of it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just that. It's just that. You just never walk in a place. We can go somewhere downtown Chicago and we walk in and I'm probably one of the most confident creatures that you'll meet, and there's very few places that I feel uncomfortable or where I don't belong, because wherever my feet tread is there. But you see eyes looking at you. You feel, you don't feel that. And then when people do lay eyes on you, it's more of like, how can I be of service? How can I help you? Welcome. Good to see you. What do you need? And it's just, just a welcoming place that, like, literally from the time. So this time that I traveled, I also got to go to Liberia with my African mommy. She runs an organization called Nicotech Center the Nicotech Center that she started with Isaac Hayes, like in the 90s, and she does a lot of different programming and different things like that. One of her programs now, she brings master's level African students to the United States in order to study STEM, AI, MBA type of programming, and with the idea that in 5 years they'll come back, serve their country, but they'll be able to get attached to these high-earning careers. So while we were there, she was onboarding the country of Liberia, so we had to go meet with the government there. And so Liberia is a different story than Ghana, but it's still the same richness of Africa was felt there. But because, very much a war-torn state, so like the people were just different, a different level of warmth, but still the same level of welcoming and curiosity, and being able to spend some time there. But we took like Kenya Airlines. I had never flown on an African Airlines, and my flight crew had on like crowns, and it was just like, it was beautiful. And my pilot was an African, and the co-pilot was an African, and when they walked, and they had these rich purple and red uniforms on, and when they walked like through the airport, it was like, oh my gosh, where am I? This is a utopia. Like, this is crazy. And so it just made me feel like a level of just belonging, and just like at every level. And so no matter who I was meeting, greeting, and talking to, from the beach, like you said, to the poolside bar, to in the city at the market, it was just like people with eyes that was just, that connected, and souls that was just so rich. And while I was there this time, I got a book that I found on the Amazon, and I'm actually going to do a book club on, called Black Utopia. And it's a historical fiction book about, I'm losing. Where did we have our, like, Black Mecca? In Tulsa. So it kind of tells the story about, like, the advantage. The author tells the story from the benefits of our separateness, and trying to form this kind of separate but equal, like being okay with this. And it's entitled Black Utopia. And it was to be able to read and finish that book there, and just to be energized around this moment in time and what we can create even here. Like, I've been on a bandwagon, which you already have been leading, around not supporting these organizations and these companies that mean us no good, and that are able to right now in this moment show us that in a real and meaningful way. And it's like, how do we really like spend our time, our dollars, which is the only thing that they will ever hear from us as a people, in a real and meaningful way, with our own. And so just reading that book and thinking about it, and just creating this opportunity, but really being a part of my own Black Utopia moment in Ghana. And I tell you what, we gotta let you go, but that Black Utopia moment. So, brothers and sisters, you've been listening to Dina McReynolds Everage sharing her experience and going back to Ghana. Dina, thank you so much. We got to get you back again. But brothers and sisters, you just heard from our sister, you can go home again. And you may find yourself going home, actually, for the first time. Because you'll be among your own. So, brothers and sisters, Dina, thank you. May Allah bless you. We talk to you again soon. So, brothers and sisters, you've been listening to Straight Words on WVON AM 1690, Black Talk Radio Chicago. At the top of the hour, we're taking a break, and we'll be back with Brian Muhammad. And believe it or not, we're going to talk